Hey everyone, sorry we had a bit of a power surge here in Austin and got a little disconnected towards the end of our conversation about Michael Neill's video on premises and how as coaches we look at people from where they're coming from and how important it is to figure out what someone's, not just meet them where they're at, to understand where they're at, which is a very different thing entirely. And George and I were kind of going back and forth, and I can't remember exactly where we were. So I'm going to let George do some talking, and I'll try to fill it in.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm actually smiling because as you were talking, it just occurred to me that even this conversation we're having today, I bet you that in in the not too distant future, you could look back and say, really, like you know, you might wonder how it was that this this whole setup made sense to us. You just never know. But at the moment, like, this makes sense. It
Yeah,
makes sense in a way that this is what makes sense to us, and this is how it makes sense to us to share it. It might change tomorrow. We might begin to see a different perspective. But hey, it is what it is.
yeah, and I think we have to have that kind of concept. And I think the Maya Angelou quote really speaks to me. You did what you knew how to do. When you knew better, you did better. So that's the whole kind of thing in a nutshell of a premise, because
Sure.
you're looking at your own life. We talked a little bit about, Deanna at 8 or 18 might have done something different than me now.
Yeah.
And our client, maybe even at the very moment they come to the session, they might be different than when they end the session. There may have been a shift in perspective or premise or something that hopefully, if we're doing our job right, there is over time going to be some perspective shifts. So it can be sort of unfair to judge ourselves in a way. I think that's kind of what he was talking about. And I'm not saying he says that we judge our clients, but as human beings, we have these preconceptions and notions and ideas that make up who we are in our own premises. And sometimes they come into conflict with other people's without necessarily meaning it to. So as a coach, we have to take those out and have that conversation that can be transformative for someone else. So for me, the video was just really helpful in understanding that what my role as a coach isn't necessarily in understanding the words that my client is saying. It's understanding what drives those words. What are the systems, the beliefs, the understandings that create the words they're sharing with me. So it's, in a way, kind of like we call this a deeper conversation. It's a deeper conversation when you're having a coaching conversation with a client.
Yeah, because that's where the real transformation happens. It's when of experience, when you go to what's behind how the person is showing up, not what the person is actually doing or saying, but the driving force, the what's underneath. Michael Neill will sometimes say it's what's before the therefore.
Yeah.
What's before therefore. So sometimes there is something, and then you add therefore it means this, and you run away with it. But there's something that is generating every other thing, and it's looking in that direction that really helps the clients to have the insights and the realizations that they need to make that shift. Because one of the biggest one of the biggest advantages or the biggest benefits of coaching, in my opinion, is it's our job is to help create the conditions for the clients to realize for themselves, you know, whatever insights will help them, because it's only what I see for myself on a deeper level and what the client really sees for themselves that will make the shift. It's not necessarily what we say or how we say it. It's what they hear and the the internal conversations we provoke by our questions, the the places we point them to look, the kind of exploration we do, and the kind of questions we
Yeah.
we ask them. That's really what makes the shift. It's not how much you say or how you say it, and all those things are just um, complementary. The real shift happens in the client and it's from the client, and that's why coaching is unique in the sense that it's all about the client, and it really is all about the client. And
Yeah.
our job is really to just help them look in, places that they probably haven't looked before, or look at the same situation from with new eyes, and probably it changes everything.
Yeah, and I do think that for people who are not coaches, that the concept can still hold true because we're all, spouses, brothers, sisters, whatever, to each other.
Yeah,
And if we spent more time understanding other people's premises, it would be easier to relate to people. If we start operating under the belief that people are just doing the best they can, think of the shift we could make, in all of our relationships.
yeah,
Um,
sure.
so I think on that larger note, that would be a good place for us to kind of end the conversation, and we'll pick it up next time with something new.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a real realization for me. Like everyone, not just a few people, but everyone you meet is doing their best, giving the level of thinking that makes sense to them in the moment, and
Right.
it can't. Yeah, and once we get that premise, once we try to understand what's really going on, then we can be more empathetic, we can be more helpful, and I'm sure we'll have a lot more um, fruitful relationships. And who knows, the world might just keep becoming a better place.
That would be great. And we'll definitely include the link to the Michael Neill video so you can watch it for yourself and see what comes up for you. And we'd love to have your comments and see what you all think based on the idea of premises and just how the way Michael Neill presents it, because it's pretty entertaining. He's got a pretty engaging style. I enjoyed the video as well. So thank you. And
Absolutely, yeah.